Everybody, today we're doing something completely and totally different. We're at Thrive Pet Market on St. Mary's Road in Winnipeg, Manitoba, St. Vital. We're not far from St. Vital Shopping Centre. Easy in, easy out. We are here with, are you an owner, a manager? You run the place. This is Jeff. He runs the place. I've been coming here for several years now, and I got to tell you, I feed raw now because of this gentleman. He knows his stuff. I don't think anybody in the city knows more about feeding raw and the reasons why you should or shouldn't, but you should. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a tour and talk about some raw dog food. Let's have a tour. Hey, Jeff.
Hey.
So tell us a little bit about your store. How long have you been here? Have you had any other locations?
I got here at 10 o'clock this morning. We've been serving St. Vital for 25 years, 10 years over on Meadowood Drive and 15 in this location. We've been selling raw for about 15 years as well.
Okay, and so, but your shop, I see, we also have dry dog food, but not a huge selection. Primarily refrigerators, freezers, pardon me, for your raw.
Yeah, we do sell some dry food. There are certain instances where, for certain reasons, people prefer to use a processed food, and that's fine. We like to have the best quality products in those categories, the best value, the best product, the best price. But we definitely move towards the raw for just about every one of our clients that can.
And you know, from my experience coming into this store from day one, it was not that I was ever against raw, but just because of my lifestyle, dry was better. Do you find that with some people? Number one, cost.
Definitely, there's always a cost and convenience factor when people are considering the raw diets. Most people get past the fact that the raw diets may be a little bit more money or a little bit more work. But when we compare them to canned foods or vet foods, they can be less money and a little bit more work up front and having to defrost them instead of just scooping them out of a bucket is made up on the back end with the reduced shedding, the tiny poops that just disappear if you don't pick them up. There's a lot of savings on the back end as far as effort goes. But the most important thing is raw feeding saves vet bills. Eating healthier keeps us healthier, keeps our pets healthier. So cleaner, fresher foods just means better, healthier pets.
Okay, and today I came in and I asked you a very specific question about feeding raw. I have not been feeding raw for very long, but I was feeding raw in the morning and then kibble at night, although a baked kibble, very high-end what do I feed?
Carnivore.
Carnivore. Canadian made, absolutely incredible food, but I said I'm starting to transition and have for a while now to strictly feeding raw. What do I need to add to it? Because there are some raws, it's just meat. So people need to know that you just can't feed a patty every day and be good to go. So give the explanation that you gave me.
And that's why we're here, is to give people the guidance to make sure they're not making the wrong decisions. Most places you go in, they hand you a box and off you go. Here we go into depth. What are your concerns? What are your needs? What are we addressing in the animal's issues that we're trying to fix? We have 150 different thaw and feed meals, 10 different manufacturers, 20 unique meat proteins. The biggest key in diet is variety. The more variety we have, the more likely we're going to hit all the nutritional needs of the animal. There are some products that are fully balanced and meet NRC standards or FEDF standards or AFCO standards, and they can be fed just by themselves, but it's never a good thing just to feed one. If you have a dog that has very specific allergies and needs one protein only, then that's great, and we'll make sure that you're getting the proper nutritional supplements to go along with it to make sure that that becomes complete. But by having a bunch of different products from a bunch of different companies, you're going to get different nutritional opportunities and create balance over time through variety.
Okay, so we're going to ask one quick question about your dry dog food. I want you to tell us, in your opinion, what the best food is on your shelf and why, quickly, and then we're going to move over to the freezers and we're going to look at some of the frozen food that you have. So let's take a look at what you have for dry and what your opinions are.
Well, You made the correct choice in picking carnivore as being the food that you feed, and it's also the one that I would feed if I fed a dry food. Carnivore is a baked food, it's not a kibble. Okay, there's a big difference between the two. Kibbles are high heat processed from different ingredients that they then spray the vitamins and fats on after the food is cooked. Whereas baked foods are formulated to not require that supplementation after the fact. They are baked and that's the way they are. You'll notice that with products like carnivore or Sunday cuts, which are baked foods, they aren't greasy. Whereas any kibble tends to be very greasy because that's sprayed on fat. So carnivore is definitely our choice. We also offer, and it's Canadian made, we also offer products like Nutrient Sub-Zero, which is again Canadian made with freeze-dried raw added to it. It's a little bit less expensive, but it's a good quality Canadian product. And then we have other products that are less expensive, but still in their price point, they're the best quality and the best value there is.
Okay, so let's move over to the freezers, because I know that you have invested a ton of money into freezer units in this place. You started small with your freezers and you have upgraded, and I know in the corner there is a massive one that you upgraded to at a big cost, but it all makes sense financially. You can keep more products. So let's just discuss a few of your lines of frozen raw here.
Okay, so everything in our freezers is Canadian, 100% Canadian. Most of the ingredients that go into them are Canadian. Of course, we don't have Canadian kangaroo available, so that's got to be imported, but most of the products are Canadian. All of our products are meant for human consumption ingredients. So these are not dead, diseased, dying, and disabled animals that were condemned for human consumption. They're either human grade or meant for human consumption. The reason we have to use those kind of products is you can tell when you defrost the product if it was made from garbage. You would smell the stink. So these have to be clean products to start with. So we have, like I say, 150 different thaw and feed meals. They range in price from $2 a pound up to $20 a pound, depending on the protein and the manufacturer.
Okay, here's a bit of a loaded question that I didn't ask or tell you that I was going to ask, but I'm going to ask it. Costco is selling raw now, and I've heard a lot of things about it, and it's Costco. It's like I always say to people, if you can buy your dog food at the grocery store, don't buy your dog food because it's not quality. It's not the same. What are your thoughts on that?
I love the fact that Costco is selling raw dog food, because that means that raw dog food makes sense and that they have to sell it because people are asking for it. People are seeing the difference in their animals after feeding raw. Now, would I buy my dog food from Costco? Probably not. But again, my mom always told me, you don't always get what you pay for, but you never get what you don't pay for. And that's the criteria that I've put into deciding which companies are in my freezers. I have to trust the company, I have to trust their source of ingredients, I have to trust that the product is being made the way they say it's being made. The bigger the company, the less control we have over the individual ingredients and the individual production of each package. So I find that we get a much better, much more consistent product by dealing with smaller companies. So that's a big factor in what we choose and how we choose what's in our freezers.
Yeah, and I also think the big difference, well, there's two big differences. One, you're local, you're one shop, and you know your stuff. If you go to Costco and you grab a Costco employee as an example, or you're buying your dog food at Walmart, they're just stocking shelves. They know absolutely nothing about food or nutrition. You're buying at a warehouse. When you come here, you're not getting that. You're getting somebody who actually knows his stuff, who has studied his stuff, and is not going to steer you wrong, because everything you've done is tried and true. And you are very specific about the products. I'll say to you, do you sell this? And you'll go, no, because it doesn't meet your standards, because you have very high standards.
Yeah. And again, the amount of training, the amount of interaction we've learned more from our clients than I probably learned from anything else, both through trial and error and finding out ways to fix the problems that we haven't seen before, right? And having them come back and say, hey, this has worked for me, or this has worked for me. So then I can take that to the next client. When they come in and say, my dog is having this issue, you can say, well, hey, I had a similar dog with a similar issue, and this is what we did. And 9 times out of 10, that works. So I have all of that, our staff and everyone here has all of that experience and background and history that allows us to help each client that comes in.
Yeah, your staff is very well trained. They're not just by the hour employees. That's what I've noticed since I've come in here, is that if you're not here, I prefer when you're here, that your staff, they have the answers, and they're just not recycling stuff that you have said to them. They actually know what they're talking about, so they can answer very, very quickly, and I really appreciate that. But
and if it's something that they don't know, I always have my phone with me. They can always get a hold of me. We can answer the questions that you have vicariously.
Yeah, you're very available. I know on more than one occasion you've said, I'm close, I'll be back there in a few minutes, and I really appreciate it. But Jeff, thank you very much for your time. It was wonderful. Again, folks, completely different type of video. It's a food review. It's just a food review that has nothing to do with humans, but it's human grade food. Thrive Pet Market. Now, Jeff, I just want to tell everybody exactly where you're located and what your hours are.
It's Thrive Pet Food Market, and we're at 1604 St. Mary's Road, Unit 2. So it's just south of the mall, in with Preferred Purge and Frescolio and Argy's. So we're about 4 blocks south of the mall on the west side of the street. So we're open 7 days a week, Monday to Friday from 10 until 8, Saturday 10 until 6, and Sunday noon until 5. And we're available on thrivepetfoodmarket.com. We have an online shopping capability as well, and we do citywide free delivery on orders over $100.
Thrive Pet Food Market. I'm going to get it right. I've just been coming in here for so long. Anyway, Rare Dog recommends Thrive Pet Food Market on St. Mary's Road. See you here and tell them Rare Dog sent you. Have a great day.